This is one of the most embarrassing things I have ever seen on the mainstream media coming from the right. Tucker Carlson has been triggered by a great many things over the years, but in the video you're about to watch, he is literally triggered by Elmo.
But for now, it's enough to say that the country's defenses have been badly weakened by decades of relentless propaganda, all of it designed to make us feel that we have no right to stand up for ourselves, to stand up for our country. We are too sinful to resist. We deserve whatever we get. Shut up and take it, America. We could spend days showing you examples of this, but here's just the very latest. It's from CNN over the weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm bringing this sign to the protest at the community center later.
Oh. They look upset. Are the protesters sad?
They are sad and upset, and they have every right to be, Elmo. People are upset because racism is a huge problem in our country. Across the country, people of color, especially in the black community, are being treated unfairly because of how they look.
It's a children's show. Got that, Bobby? America is a very bad place, and it's your fault. So no matter what happens, no matter what they do to you when you grow up, you have no right to complain. That's the message, and it starts very young. Where does it end up? Exactly, we're finding out.
Okay. So that's not fake. Parker Malloy didn't make that. He played a clip of Elmo and a guy telling Elmo the protesters are angry and upset, and that makes sense. It's understandable. And Tucker he thought he was making a great point about American society. Where am I? What year is it? It's madness. What has SpongeBob done recently, Tucker? Tell us about it.
Yep, and his problem is that kids maybe get told something about their country that isn't all roses and butterflies and calls for that we're this superior nation that does everything right. That's what we've always been told. That's why people like Tucker Carlson are sitting there in their seat telling everyone the same thing, that same lie, so that even the reality in everyone's face of what we're seeing, like, don't listen to that reality. Don't tell your kids that there's a problem. And the irony in that whole thing and his response of what his take from what he got from that Sesame Street episode was, hey, Bobby, no matter what happens to you, no matter how much your country comes for you, you can't complain about it. Mm-hmm. Tucker, that's exactly what you're telling kids of the oppressed folks in this country right now. Don't talk.
100%.
Don't go protest. Don't say we need to change things, because just sit back and take it. He somehow flips that on his head and thinks that, hey, who's going to protect the oppressors?
Yeah.
Who's going to look out for people like me who are trying to keep people down, who are trying to continue to allow police brutality to happen and murders to happen? Who's going to look out for me? Hey, you're the bad guy. Nobody looks out for the bad guy except for other bad guys.
So this is the danger of bringing Jared Jackson on, is he only makes exactly the point I wanted to make. No, 100%. 100%. 100%. The chat, I've been watching the chat, and they've pointed out two important things. One, Elmo's definitely Antifa. But two, what Tucker said had nothing to do with the clip that he played. Like, I don't know, sometimes the wrong clip comes up and you just have to roll with it. But that's not what Elmo's dad was telling Elmo. But if we just take what Tucker said, you're 100% right. Both before and after the clip, he said the lesson is the left is telling you to just take it. Don't complain. Whatever you did, it's your fault. You can't change anything. Just take it. No, people are protesting. They have taken it for long enough, and they are standing up. And that is something that Tucker occasionally understands, because he, of course, supported the anti-lockdown protests, loved the Tea Party. Like, he loves certain protests, but only for some reason that I can't put my finger on. There's something about this protest that he thinks not only isn't demonstrating that most essential of American things, protesting in the streets when you see injustice, that the system will not fix itself. By
the way, it's the same thing with the sex talk people like to have, right? If you don't talk to your kids about racism, someone else will. So if you say Bobby is too young to learn about racism at 5 to 7 years old, trust me, he's heard about it from someone else who said the words, who have the stereotypes pushed in their brains, from teachers who have said things to them and treated them a certain way. Trust me, people have talked to your kids about racism, and they've talked to them about it in negative ways. So when someone talks about it in a way to recognize it and to alleviate and maybe do something differently, therein lies the problem. Trust me, someone has talked to your kid about racism and the things that they've said you don't want to hear.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.